We'll get started in a second, guys. Wow. Ow. Jeez. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Sorry, I had to down a burger because it's been a long day. Just got home from soccer. Yes, I am running a little late. But we're here, and we're going to work on the layout. And I'm feeling pretty good about this because, as you might have seen, I've already got track down, which is awesome. So that's on the opposite side of the layout right now, and it's about, I don't know, 10, 14 feet of track. So that's fun. If you hear a lot of noise in the background, it is mostly because today was, not today, but early on in the month, it was my youngest son's birthday, and we did a little outing this afternoon where we took there was at least 10 of them, 10 kids to go see the new Spider-Man movie. So yeah, and we just, after that, it was right from there to soccer, and from there here. So it's been a fun-filled day, to say the least. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for waiting, because I know a lot of you do show up, and I did schedule it for 25 after. In some cases, I am here earlier, but, the game ran a little bit longer, and we still won, so that's fun, too. But, yeah, we're going to do some track work today. I had a lot of questions about how I am doing the track work for my modules, how I am going to continuously, be able to take this apart, put it back together, what's the longevity of this, and, how does it work? Well, I'll be able to answer that and probably a few other questions. But yeah, we'll take a look. Yesterday, though, before I get started, I had the honor of taking down the rest of my layout, the very final section, which was in my office. So when I go to do my lives now from the office, it'll look very different, to say the least. So yeah, that'll be weird, right, without having the layout behind me. But I'm gonna have to hang some pictures or something, hang something to kind of decorate and make it look a little bit nicer. But overall, it's a larger space now, and it feels a lot more roomy. And I swapped out my desks, so now I'm using my larger desk, which is perfect because I've got a lot of larger kits that I need to build. So it's about time, right? I was running out of room on the little desk. That's why I got the bigger one in the first place at my old house, is because the kits I was doing were a little bit bigger than the table, so it was very easy to run out of room. So that's fun. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's take a look here. So here's a bit of a long shot of what I have, or what I've been working on, and this is the back section with the ethanol that you can see, all those red buildings with the white roof, and then of course down here as well, where I'm standing, which is kind of where the lumber and whatnot's going to go. And I've got some cork down. I added this cork, the second piece here, this morning, so that's why it's still pegged with my little pins. So I got to go through and I got to remove those first and foremost. But before I do that, I keep saying that before I do that, I just want to show you guys, because as far as going module to module, I wanted an easier way to cut the power and then plug it back in. I don't have one on me. I have one in the office, but it's so far to walk over there. So I'm just going to tell you. It's a little plug with a black and red wire on it. And it's a small connector. It works, but it's very hard to get apart. I think I ended up giving most of those to Bubs or Brandon. for his modules because he just needed a little connector piece for it. I think he used it for the lighting for his buildings. But for me, I switched. I'm using something that looks a little bit more like this. This is a male-female connector, both with the black and red. It almost looks like a speakerette, you know, which is kind of neat. And that goes together pretty easy, comes apart pretty easy. So when I put this on the underside of the layout, it'll basically go right here for the bus line, and it's going to, you know, connect, and then when I go to disconnect, it's literally just unplugging it. So that's the kind of cable I'm going to use. I got all this, I think it was like 14 or 15 bucks for 10 or 10 sets. Yeah, 10 sets. So there's 20 pieces here, 20 male, 10 male, 10 female, and I got those on Amazon. Very helpful stuff. And it should make quick work of that. I have to grab a tool from over here, so bear with me for a moment. So when I take up these pins here, because they go right through, some of them are right down. I use my little clippers here just to kind of lift it up, so get a better grip on it. And I'll take you through my main line here and what I plan on doing. This is how I pin my cork down, by the way. Usually it holds pretty good. I use my No More Nails, or not No More Nails, I use the wood glue on it, sorry. So I brush it on, use I think they say it's a liberal amount, and hope for the best. No, it holds pretty good, and it's pretty sturdy. It worked really well on the other side. I've used it before on foam, so it works okay. It's very clean. It's almost too clean. It'll look a lot less clean once I figure out all my land formations and where my sidings are going to go. You can kind of see when you look at this one here, because this is the other side, the green tape kind of represents a road that I want to put in there. And I am still working out the logistics as far as sidings and getting to these industries that I am putting on my modules. It's a bit of a process, but we are getting there. And figuring out where the switches are going to go on the main line as well. That's also a big one. This cork is pretty light too, in color. And it's very soft. I don't know if cork should technically be that soft. Who knows? But. So just to kind of bring you along the way here. So let's start here at the beginning, shall we? So right here, if this is where I'm starting, this is a 1.5 inch piece of Atlas Flex, or not Flex, section track, and this is a 3-inch piece. So for here, what's going to happen, there's going to be a 3x3 module on the end, and it's going to go into a curve. So what I wanted was, I wanted to be able to put a 1.5 inch piece on the end, and then on the straight sections, module to module, I want to use a 3-inch piece. So what will happen is that the curve, which starts right here, it's going to come out and then start curving. That's all the curve sections. For the sections that are straight, I'm only putting 1.5 inches on each side. So in the event where I don't put a 3x3 on the end here, this will be able to be replaced with one of these instead. So you're just basically swapping one for one at that point. and you'll be able to go straight with whatever connections you have there, right? That's basically how I'm doing this. So when I add the track, and we're gonna come over to the other side here. Ooh. So for this here, because I only put the cork up to here, I didn't want to use up all my track or my cork yet, so I want to just do the outside section. I want to make sure I get a full loop done before I work on my second line and whatnot, and the sidings and the industries. But I have a crossover on this side. On the other side, there is nothing. It goes end to end, just here, but like over there. You can kind of see it here. There's a lineup of boxcars there, and the track goes from end to end, the 14 feet. And I don't have any crossovers or anything on that side, not on the outside main line. It's just straight track. And I can kind of show you, because now, whoop, put a pin there so the cars wouldn't go flying off. So is that good? Yeah. And it's very smooth. And yeah, it makes the little click clacks. For the most part, anyways. Some points are a little bit tighter. But I think it did a pretty good job here on this. Now, it's not even glued down yet, and I'll tell you why. Or I'll show you what I'm doing in regards to that, I guess you could say. So when it comes to doing most of this, I want to do two things. One, I want to find the placement of all my track, all my switches, and I want to make sure everything fits where it's going to fit. Once I've placed everything, I'm going to come back and I'm going to drop feeders from, the certain respected areas. After I've dropped the feeders, not connecting them, I plan to pull the track up. So, for example, this section here, end to end, this entire module, 4 feet long, I will be able to lift this entire section of track up, and I will take it outside, I will paint it, I will bring it back, and I will glue it down. I was thinking to myself, and that's kind of how I assumed I was going to do it, was I was going to glue all my parts down, I was going to add my feeders, and then that was it. Then I got a message from Perry, and Perry said, well, why don't you just take the track outside and spray it? And I thought to myself, okay, well, that's a good idea, because I can't spray it down here, and I don't want to take this whole thing apart right now. It's made so that you can take it apart, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to. The less moving, the less banging around, probably the better. So once the feeders are attached, I will lift up this entire section. I will take it outside. I will spray it. I will glue it down at that point. As long as it still functions and it goes back into place, which it technically should go right back in its place, I can drop the feeders back down through and then continue on from there. Also, the cool part is that I can attach the feeders to the underside of a rail joiner, which is ideal in this sense because you really want to hide it. You can kind of see where my old feeders were. I have to remove these still. There's a couple on there, but I'll do that eventually. So for a section like this here, And I'm going to show you how I do this. So I'm going to use, got a couple, these are Code 100 Pico rail joiners, and they're kind of a jerk to get on here because it is tighter, but I can still kind of get it on there. See, you just kind of have to force it. And it's tight, so you know it's going to conduct well on both sides of this because of how tight it is. Another thing I'm going to need to do before I spray paint it, I have to tape off all the sections like this so that I don't get paint on the areas where I need the connection to be. Now, with the number of ties that this thing has, there's going to be a tie, and it's right in the middle. So right where this line is, this crack, if you will, and it'll basically cover it up. Now, when it comes to ballasting, this part here is not going to really get ballasted. I might do some ballast on the side here and here, but this will more or less get painted either gray or brown just to kind of look like ground. I think the gray would look really good if I can match it to match the ballast, but I haven't even picked out ballast yet, so I'll have to come up with that at a later time. So I gotta add a couple more of these to the other side because I'm going to have to continue this on down that way right after I do this. And we're gonna see if we can do this entire side because I've got another crossover down there. I don't know if you can see that on. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There's two lefts. It's a little bit close to it, but I got to add another crossover there. And would you believe it if I told you that I am yet to solder anything together? So far, all the pieces that I have, and this is basically just the flex track that I'm talking about. All the flex track I have is recycled. So it was on my last layout. And a lot of it is 4 or 5 feet long. So it's all a little bit longer than each of these modules. So all I do is I straighten it out, I clip the end so that the rails are parallel, and then I connect it and I nail it down. Now I'm still using all these nails, and I saved a whole bunch of these nails from my yard because my entire yard was nailed down. So all that track doesn't have glue all over it. It's still good. It came up very easy, and yeah, a lot of it is curved, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out just to kind of for placement wise how I'm gonna do that. But a lot of it needs to be straightened out still. But we'll take care of that. But that also means that I already have a lot of pre-drilled holes in a lot of these pieces. So where the track is that I don't, I can always add it, and then I can add my, nail after. So that's one, and I'm gonna have to do the other one here as well. Not that I plan on, because I still gotta run cork on this side, which I should probably do. Now, this is Third Rail Thursday, although it's typically GVO After Dark. GVO After Dark is usually the last show of the month, and it's a recap of the entire month. But I figured, let's just do this. Let's just do another Third Rail Thursday. It seems like we've been killing it this month because there's been 5 weeks, 5 Thursdays, and we had Denny step in last Thursday as a filler, and then we had Mark the week before, and then me, and then Denny did the first week. So, we've definitely been kind of maximizing what we can do and when we can do it. So, that would be fun. And it's good being able to see what they're doing and what they're working on. Especially with the fact that we're all basically in the same boat. We're all working on a layout. And even though Denny's at running speed, it's still, I know he's still working quite a bit on it. So it's always fun to tune in and see what he's working on. Usually does something different every week. Mark, do you have your main line done yet? I think you said that you had your cork for your main line done. I don't know if you have your main line done. Now these Atlas pieces already have holes drilled in them, so I'm just going to put them in place and I'm going to hold them with the nails. So that's not going to move. That's not going anywhere. This one will spin because there's no cork over here, but we're not really focusing on that side. So the idea here is to have this also as an industry lead over here. So if you do have a train, let's say parked right here with all your cars and you're coming out, and you're also coming this way, which I don't know why you'd be coming this way, because this is technically, like if you do right-hand running, you should be coming this way. But at least you can avert it and go around, and then when you're down there, you can come back this way and go back to this. So you're basically missing the, if a train is parked like right here. So that's fun as well. So I'm just going to remove a few ties here. Normally I do save the ties, but I've got like a whole bag of them at this point. So if some of these fall into the garbage, it's not really a huge deal. Cork is down for the main line. Where would one see the bubbles? What bubbles are you talking about? If you're referring to the reactions or whatever you want to call them, I did turn them off for this. I think a lot of people were just getting annoyed by those anyways. So I just disabled them on the stream. Now the cool thing about this piece is that I've got a smaller, I guess it's about a 1.5 inch. It's a little bit, maybe it's about a 1.25. But yeah, I've got an extra piece here. If I don't end up putting my my feeders in the middle, at least at each end, there's a little extra piece here, and then I can just run it to the main section, the main board, because I'll put a board on each one of these, and then that's where I connect my bus line with my plugs, which I'll do at some point. I don't know when that some point is, but I'll get to it. There's so much going on all the time, so it's hard to say when certain things are going to get done. Work is normally busy. Where did I put my... See, because I looked at it earlier and I said, when it comes to the live, I'm going to be looking for it, and I'm not going to be able to find it. And wouldn't you know... Oh, here it is. Well, that was quick. I thought it was going to take me way longer to find that. Sorry about that sound. I'm sure it's like nails on a chalkboard for all you guys. Okay, so that should easily fit into there. Good. But I don't want to do that yet. And here's why. I need to cut this to the same length. We'll see roughly where we'd be here. Okay. I do give it a light filing right on the top there, just in case any of the metal cuts upright. Feels like this one's a little bit longer, but... I'm just making some very minor adjustments here so that they will be in line with one another. Okay. So, now this is basically how I want to do it. And there's a tiny bit of a gap here between them, but that's really only so that it will, give you that expand and contract with it. So hopefully it's okay. It's really, like, you could fit a piece of paper in there. It's really not that much at all. But also, it'll help to fit these pieces in when we move, if we go to a different place, and then let's say this module is no longer right next to this one, although these two kind of go together. Same thing with the ethanol. They're both going to go together. So, more or less, but I just want to make sure there's enough room for growth and shrinkage as well. All right, Dave, you have yourself a good night. No worries, Bob. Maybe next year for sure. I've been doing it for several years now, so if you miss it, then it's not a big deal. But I am really excited. The guys, when we go, it's usually a good time, and I'm going to move you over to here so that you can see. Yeah, we're going this way now. That really is a terrible sound, eh? Sorry about that. Let's see if I can fit some rail joiners on there. Sorry about the shaking as well. Jeez. Now these switches are all Pico Code 100 as well. I did want to stick with the Code 100. I haven't decided yet if I want to go to Code 83 on my sidings. I'm sure a lot of people would probably say do it, but it's like, I've got all this Code 100 still. You know? That's free track right there. Well, it's free because I've already paid for it, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So. And of course, once I paint it and whatnot, I'll be able to clean up this track real good, and then that way we'll get power running through, and we'll be able to start running trains again. Fingers crossed. I hope so. It's been a while. Okay, so I'm going to bring down a piece of flex here. I don't have a big one, but... Okay, just going to clean this off a little bit. There's a little bit of white glue on here, but it basically just flakes off. And you won't even see it once these are painted. And this is a whole piece here. So, do I have a straight edge. Just because some of these do curve a bit, but I want to make sure that this is good. And I'm going to cut a little bit off the end here, just to make this end clean, because you can tell that I had cut this off something else. I really don't get rid of things. That's my problem. So when it comes to something like this here, it's like, well, can I still use it? I think I can. And for this here, I've only been taking off one tie because that's all I really need to take off here. In most cases, when I've been making layouts previously, I would take off, 2 ties or whatever. But I'm trying to make short work of this in the sense where, I'll come back and I'll fill in some of these areas with, some of these ties. But I like it better when they're connected and they're connected right up all the way. So I'm just connecting, or I'm just trying to keep as many of these ties connected as possible. This whole ordeal is quite the process, but it's because none of this is new, right? If it was new stuff, I wouldn't have to pre-cut the ends to straighten them out or get them lined up. It would already be basically done for me. Things you got to do to save a few bucks, right? Now another thing I'll do when I go to paint the track, right? So you take this off of here. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to paint it brown before I glue this track back down. That way you're, obviously all this area here that can't be reached because of the ties and whatnot. And you don't want to get brown paint on this, except for the stuff you're going to use, right? So I'm going to use like a brown paint on this, and that'll be fine. And we will get that all painted underneath the actual, like where the road bed is, before we glue the track back down. Might be a box set. The one I'm talking about, me and Chris were talking about the LRC that had the near head end. Yeah. It's in its own loco box, not in a set. Yeah, I would have totally picked up that one if, but I've already pre-ordered another. It's a very, very famous video. I can't even remember how many times I've actually seen it, between YouTube and it popping up on Facebook randomly. You know how it is. They target you with things. And They're like, hey, you've clearly never seen this video before, even though I have. And then they proceed to show me another 50 times. Okay, so now here's another thing. I put this, you see this piece of wood here, and I have it clamped onto the end because I do not want the rails going past that, right? So I have this right up to here, the rails are there, that's good. The one thing that I did not want to do was put my flex track right up to here. Now, it's not to say that that's not a good thing, but if you're transporting this and the module is up on its side or it's up on the other side, heaven forbid, and it scrapes or anything, your rails are pointing right there and they risk getting damaged and whatnot. So if I have a piece here that is also removable, your rails are actually stopping right here. So you've got, 1.5 inches where you're not going to lose that, or it's not going to get damaged, way over here. Now I want to find the center again. And put that in its place. So that's gonna stay like that. I'm okay with that. And we're going to, I didn't file this yet, or did I? Sounds like a donkey. Hee-haw, hee-haw. All right. So now I really want you guys to see this. And I'm going to bring you a little closer. I'm sorry if it's shaky, the shaky cam. Go up a little bit. Okay. So you can kind of see here how we got this. Sorry about the reflection. But there is a tiny, tiny gap, a hair gap, right in between those. And I'm totally comfortable with that. That's cool right there, because that will give me that extra wiggle room if the rail expands or contracts. And yeah, it's good. I like that. So that'll be perfect for this. And that's how I did it all on the other side. And that's how I'm going to do it here and throughout the whole layout. So this might be a bit more tricky. I don't think I've actually done work like this before. Like, I've laid track before, live, but not like this, gritty type of cleaning up your track and whatever you want to call it type work. Okay, so I want to remove that one. And we're going to come right back to here. Okay, so now because this is a switch and you're coming in here, I'm going to have to cut some ties specifically for this because it does kind of interfere with these ones here in the middle. And before you say it, unless somebody already has, yeah, I'm going to fill in between here as well with cork. But until I know where I'm placing this, which now I do, I will be able to do it at the next step, which is once I remove this, I'll be able to put it in. It'll look a little bit more seamless than this. I just want to check. So this here is good. There's still the little gap there. And this is where I really test my cutting skills. And yeah, because this is code 100 and it's very thick, I can't use rail snippers because they break so easily on code 100. I haven't found a pair that was strong enough, so I've got these snippers that are a lot better. And that worked. So I just got to file and clean that down. So as excited as I am for this layout and getting this up and running, when I move, it's going to definitely open up the possibilities for adding more modules to it, which I think is where I'm going to have a lot of fun. Just for the simple reason that went back a bit. And we still have the little gap down here, just in case you're keeping score. Perfect. So that is good. That's a piece that I can keep in there. And I think I want to just... Where's my drill? And my bits. Drill and bits. I wouldn't be surprised if I put that somewhere and I have no idea where it is now. Because it's definitely been a while since I've used it. Oh, I know where it is. Give me a second. So I'm going to put a couple of holes. You won't ever really notice them, but I'm going to do it anyway. and it's really just to hold it in place. So James helped me find a drill bit that would be perfect for this. I'm sure you guys remember back from when I was doing my yard. And it's actually, the drill bit itself, it's by Walthers. And I think I might have it's a number 60. Number 60, a .040 diameter, and it came as a 2-pack. I haven't even broke one yet. Knock on wood. But yeah, they're very handy. I did my whole yard last time with it, and you just gotta, yeah, that's all it takes. Then I use these little nails, and that'll hold that in place. Well, might as well put one in the middle here just to hold this. Now, for anybody who is wondering, should I glue down my track? Should I nail down my track? Honestly, it's totally up to you. Personally, if I could get away with nailing this thing, I would do it. My problem with nailing it is that the nails are not long enough to go through the cork and half-inch foam to get to another half-inch foam on the underside. So that doesn't work for me. If I was putting this right on wood, or if underneath the cork you have wood, which is what I did with my yard, then use nails. Yeah, easy to take up when you're, if you've made a mistake, and it won't do anything like warp or anything like that if you add like too much water or whatever when it comes to ballasting. And you can, you paint them, you can make them look okay. You can blend them in. They usually blend in pretty well. I had a heck of a time trying to find them when I was trying to take them out. So that's the only thing, unless you've got really good eyes. So that's really the only negative. But yeah. What about you guys? Do you guys use nails as well, or what? What are you doing to allow the joiners to slide so that you can remove the track sections? So basically, I'm not going to remove the piece. When I go to remove the module, I can unscrew it enough to slide it out, which then at that point I can remove these pieces, and then the full module can be separated. But I want to keep them like this. I don't want it loose so that I can slide it and remove it like that. I know exactly what you're talking about because my club does that. So this is just kind of what I've come up with for this. If I want to remove it, I just loosen the screws, or the bolts. I'm sorry, the bolts that go module to module. I slide it over, which would disconnect the track, and then the piece should just pop out at that point. So this entire one here, we're here, and we've come all the way down to here. So that's an entire section that I've added. Well, except for this here, I still have to add this. But I just wanted to show you. So I'm going to move this piece over now. Right? Yeah, a little paint and a little ballast. I want to get a foam cutter, and I want to cut this down this way a little bit, and I want to cut down this way a little bit, so that this whole section here, it makes it look like it's actually raised up, because it's supposed to, it's supposed to look like it's a little bit higher. But I can't really cut on the inside here till I know where my sidings are going and all that. So it's quite the process, but we'll get there eventually. If I can get the outside done, or at least the main line anyways, to a point where I'm comfortable with it, if I can get it wired and whatnot, then I'll be real happy. And I can start just running loops. And while I'm running loops, I can be working on other things on the inside. I've already... Well, that went flying. These nails are easy to lose. I've already started working on some stuff, like I said. So with this section over here, right? Yeah, you can see that I've got a road there, and I've got a couple of buildings in place. I want to add a highway overpass on the other side of the building, and then it goes into the paper mill. So I want to split up the paper mill and just this other area. So it's kind of what I've been looking at recently, and trying to work out, tracks and what switches and what do I need, what do I have, and how to make it work. So I'll be doing a bit more of that eventually. Once I sort it out, I can start doing that side, because there's I don't think there's as many switches over there as there is here. So this side's a little bit easier as far as mainline. I think I need more track. Yeah, I do, because I don't think this will fit. It will not. Will this? Also, having this little lip here is, it's perfect for sitting my straight edge on, because then I can just make sure these pieces are straight on here. I probably don't need too long of a piece, but where'd my clippers go? Clipper. What? Oh. If they were any closer, they would have bit me in the face. Now, besides myself working on this, what are you guys working on? I'm really interested to know, because I know a lot of people like to work on things while they watch, or they use my voice as background to their building rhythm, I guess. I don't know. But I'm wondering what you guys are working on, because, yeah. If you are working some, or if you got some work done today on the layout. Hey, ONR fan, how's it going? I'm working on the guardrails. Trackside Mike. Mike, I forgot to message you because I'm obviously busy. Busy day, busy life. I got to message you after. I'm wondering when you're coming down as far as the barbecue. Because if you're around on the Friday, like to get in, some golf if you're around. Just saying. Static grass is fun. I love doing static grass. I always look forward to all the scenery stuff whenever I'm doing a layout. Because that's what I like doing the most. Oh good, I'm going to totally miss that weld point, so that's good. So first I'm just going to clip this. Well, Mike, let me know if you're interested. If you're in town, a day before the barbecue or whatever, we'll work something out. You only do 9 holes, right? Nothing serious. Four. Four. Oh, not bad. I just got to file that down, and then we're going to get that one in place. Now this one I might have to fight with a little bit just to get it to work. Ugh. Doesn't want to work. And I think it is because of this rail here kind of being rude. The 19th hole. I'm pretty sure that you could start a pub called the 19th hole. Come on, you. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Wow, that was difficult. A lot more difficult than what it should have been or needed to be. But we are back to where we need to be. And I'm going to pin that back down. And this as well. Cool. So there we go. So there is 2 tracks just for there. I know it's not. You're not looking at much. It's there's nothing too special about this. So, but it is what it is, right? Let's go to the next track, shall we? Eventually, I'm going to have to send the mow crew along here to clean up a lot of this extra tie and stuff that's laying all over the place here. That's what I should do. Should have my mow train going. Don't have any problems with mine. Chris is S, your first modular. I did other modules in the past, but it wasn't as serious as this. Like, there was one point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do modules. Then I'm like, I'm not gonna move for a while. So you can tell that that was like early on in my house renting days. And since then I've had, 4 other layouts, I guess. 3 other layouts. Shoot, I lost count. I don't know. But yeah, you just get to that point where you're like, okay, well, you know what? I gotta make that difficult, call, make that difficult decision. And to be honest, it really wasn't that difficult. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do modular. And I did. And I feel better for it. I just hope this all works out and it works well for what it is, and I can continue using it for many, many a year. Which I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Probably. Besides, I kinda know what I'm doing. Kinda. You get to that point where you've just done so many layouts that you're like, well, yeah, I can kind of do this. My confidence is at an all-time medium. So, it's technically a good thing. I arrive in Smiths Falls at 12:35 on Friday on via train 60. I hope some others will be around to chill with. Possibly. And I say possibly because I know that I'll probably be around. Possibly. I hear Brandon lives in a van down by the tracks, so he might be around. Yeah, with model train aficionado Chris. So all my modules right now, out of all my modules, I've got a couple of different sizes. So for this one here is 2 feet, so they're all basically 2 feet deep, but it's 4 feet long. I've got a smaller one here which is 2 feet, so it's 2 by 2. And then I've got another 2 by 4 and another 2 by 4. So that's kind of what I fit lengthwise. Once I put the 3-footer on the end here, I'll have another 3 feet right against that wall there where I can walk around and come to the back here. I wanted to make this as long as I could in an even amount of numbers, more or less, and then still have room to be able to get around it. I thought, okay, well, what if I make like this one here a lift out? But like that's like an entire 4-foot section or 2-foot section that I could, put an industry on. And I didn't want to put an industry on a lift out. And as you can tell, a lot of my layout right now, I mean, there's 2 major industries and then a couple of smaller ones. So I wanted to have, a little bit of everything going on. I'm also thinking of adding a section on the back of one of these modules here where it's just a long yard type thing, and then I can just like go through the backdrop into the center area, and that's where the cars would be kept, or some cars, some overstock stock. You didn't move quick enough on those cabooses? Jeez. I think they got a Point St. Charles, too. That would have been neat. See, I hate when it does that. Well, I wonder if it's because of that. Let me cut it here and we'll find out. Oh, okay, yeah, it's straightened out. So now that that's like that, I'm going to pull it back a bit. There we go, giving myself just a tiny gap there. So I got to take about 1.5 inches off of this. Well, with the fact that I'm doing all my modules the exact same, I hope that that is the case and that I will be able to interchange them, move them around, add new ones later on if I keep to the same, dimensions and stuff. And, yeah, expand or even, make it smaller if I have to. The one cool thing that I didn't realize before, and I had mentioned it on my live, the 3x3 sections that I do, which are for the ends, I could totally put 4 of those together in a giant square and make a helix on those, which would make it almost modular. Now, I wouldn't have it so that you could take the layers apart, but the base of it coming apart that easily would be really cool. And it would fit with the rest of the layout. All I gotta do is make the legs shorter. But again, that's a that's a job for another house, I think. That won't be this house. Because I can always add a shelf under here for like a hidden staging. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, well, a giant straight section where I just have all my storage, but I have it under the layout. And then, yeah, basically. Oh, not too bad. Might have to cut that one a little bit shorter. I wanted to avoid my furnace entirely at that point. We have guys come in to, do the service on it and whatnot. At least there's already been one guy that's come in. I think it's a yearly thing, right? Like once a year, they will have a guy come and check. But again, I do apologize about that sound. Okay. So that needs to be trimmed down just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So that will actually work. So you're going to straighten this out. Add a nail. Making sure these gaps are still here. Good. This is exactly how I did the other side. So it's kind of it's moving along a lot quicker than what it would if I was still trying to figure everything out. And I already basically have the switches worked out for this entire section here, which is great because there's a lot that's going to go on with it. Try to get my little tool. it's not glued down yet. Did I forget to glue that down, or did I do that on purpose? I don't remember. Let's just do this next section here that I almost undoubtedly missed. I think this is probably too short. So is this one. So we're going to use this one here. And I don't like that one because that has a bit of a gap in it. Let me see if I can find another piece of track here. One that might be a little bit better for the placement. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I got one. It's not too shabby, as they say. I definitely have my work cut out for me with this ethanol plant, because not only do I have tracks that go through the building here, but I also have to put tracks down there for tank car storage. So there's a lot of little logistical things that I have to work out here. But luckily the main line, which is going across the front here, can still be done in the meantime. So progress is progress, right? Sorry again about that. This will definitely need some ties filled in here, but that's okay. Nothing I can't handle. And we want to pull this back just a little bit as well. There. That way it's not right at the end, it's not pinching, it's not pushing, and there's room for that to go back in place. Neat. Now I don't see any holes on this one, so it's probably not from my yard. So I'm going to need to drill a couple of holes here just to kind of hold it in place. Again, these nails aren't going to be permanent. I will take them out after, and I'll actually glue this down, except for these middle pieces here. And yeah, it'll be a lot better. I don't know, the glue will actually have a hold on it. Where this is, it's more or less like I'm tacking it down with a push pin or a thumbtack at this point. Rails look pretty straight too, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good. You take a look at that after. Whoops. I don't even know if you can see that. Oh, you probably can. Except for this part here. So from here to here, which I gotta still cut. So that'll go there, and that'll get cut there. So that means I gotta remove all of these. Or I cut it overall. Yeah, it's still good. Here. All right, Bubs, you have yourselves a good night. Is the ethanol plant prototypical? In regards to the kit itself, or the way I've got it set up, or, I mean, as far as what I have it set up as, there's a little bit there where I had to kind of move the buildings around a bit, but overall you've got your storage and whatnot, and then processing, intake, outtake, and then of course all the way down there is where you load up the tank cars with the ethanol. So basically you're going this way, but the loading is right in, or sorry, the unloading of the grain is here, and then it gets processed. These are the fermentation tanks. We've got storage here, and then we've got storage there, and then, yeah, processing, and then it'll make its way down that way, which then it goes into the other storage tanks for loading onto the tank cars. So kind of. I yeah, like I don't think that their buildings are completely accurate for like when you look at pictures on Google and whatnot. They're not completely accurate. And I did have to leave off, I think I left off a couple of buildings, but I do want more silos for storage and more storage tanks as well. Just because you need a lot more storage. One tank and one wet dry bin is not really ideal. They usually have a bunch. So at the risk of crowding things and making it look junky, I wanted less of the unimportant stuff, the stuff that you could probably find in the back. Because this is all stretched out. That's 8 feet, right? It's all on 8 feet. I don't know what the equivalent would be in kilometers or whatever, or miles. But this whole thing stretches over 8 feet. So I really wanted to get rid of some stuff and keep some stuff. It's difficult to justify certain things. But other things, it's like, oh, I'm going to need that. Got to keep that. And there's also a lot of detail parts that I haven't even placed yet or anything like that. I just wanted the major buildings in place so that I can work on where the tracks are going to go and how things are going to kind of function here. Because really, the only two major things that I needed was the inbound, that's going to fall, the inbound grain drop-off and the outbound tankers. So, and then storage, which I don't have a lot of storage, but we'll make do. I can always expand on this later. I really would have needed another 4 feet maybe to really make this thing, better. In fact, I could have made this entire 14-foot length ethanol and then just done a whole end where it's all tanker storage. But I didn't want to, use up all the modules in that way. So you kind of have to pick and choose at some point what you want, what you don't want. Not too shabby. And there's just enough room here for a gap as well. Pretty good. I find that the more that I do this, the better at it I get. And it's just like practice. If you do something enough, then the kits, so all of these kits are Walthers. They did the ethanol series. Good luck finding it now. You know, you might be able to find like 1 or 2 pieces. Back when I had started doing ethanol, it was quite a task finding all the kits. And then what happened was I ended up selling the entire thing. They looked very different, except for the fact that they were green on the side. No, white on the sides with green roof. And I had all the kits in the series. And then I had kind of changed directions. I didn't want the ethanol anymore. I don't even remember why. I think I wanted to focus more on passenger. I can't remember for the life of me. But when I went to go do it again, because I'm like, no, you know what? I really want it. I had a heck of a time finding it because these kits came out over 11 years ago. And I had already had a hard time finding all the kits the first time around. But the second time around, I got a couple of kits from one store. I got one kit off of eBay. I think I got the other kit off eBay as well. But they were like, you guys know Trains with a Z? They happened to have it, and they had it on their eBay page, so I grabbed it. I think I might have bought one on Facebook Marketplace. Shit, I don't remember, but of all the series, the ethanol is my favorite. One that I'm probably never going to get to use is this 3-foot long monstrosity. And then I've got the entire steel mill, but they re-released the steel mill a few years back. I want to say it was 3 years ago. And when they did that, there was a very short supply, but I managed to get all the kits. I think James got the kits as well. But wouldn't you know, it's like you get the kits, you're building them, and then you're like, these are way bigger than what I thought, and I've got no room on my layout for these. So that happens, life happens, and then they just become fixtures that move around in your train room until you've actually found space or you store them. And that's how all those buildings are now. They're all stored, and well, except for this one, because I cleaned out my office the other day, and that's where that one was sitting. So it's tough, right? Yeah. What can you do? Oh, it's 3 feet long. It's a beautiful kit, right? Like if you get it together and you put lights in there and everything, it'll look amazing. But if you have space for it, then you'll be able to use it. If not, then... So I hope at some point I can build a couple of modules. Might be able to get away with another 8-foot long module and do steel mill on the 8-foot module. Might need longer. Not sure. That would be a tough one as well. Got another straight piece in here. This one is good. I think I'm gonna pin this as well. One more nail. What time is it even? 10:30. Oh my god. You guys got me working overtime here. I work tomorrow as well, like actual work. So. Okay, well, here's the thing. Now, I have to go into this module here, but I didn't lay this cork yet. and I gotta have a crossover here. Now, I can put this in just as it is, right? But I really want to build the crossover first and make sure that's good and the distance is okay and all that. And then from there, right, this is the other part. Because then this goes like this, right? So there's this crossover, right, from here to here. Then here's the entry here to, hang on. Sorry, I got so much in my hands here. I'm moving this out of the way. Okay. Making more room so I can show and tell. So many things. Okay. Why do I have two of these here? Oh my gosh. It's fine. We'll be fine, I think. I think we'll be fine. Probably not, but... okay. So, like I said, we... mainline. This is mainline as well. Why is that like that? What's in there? Okay, mainline. So, cross this way. Then we've got this here that comes up, and I want to add... this, and this has got to probably get pushed back a little bit here, or that just, yeah, that has to be cut down. And what'll happen is that I can do storage up this way, and when I redo all that, I'm going to add storage over there, car storage. And then when we go this way, we go right through here, right? Because this is where the cars empty their grain. And then, yeah, we'll have it go back that way. But, yeah, so fun, right? We're having fun here. I have a couple of things to fix on here as well before I make this part of the actual module. So, it got a little damaged during the move, so a little TLC would be very necessary. I also want to do the same thing here, so I put the masonite underneath this, and this holds all these buildings along here, and the glue apparently. I want to do the same thing here, so that all of this is on the masonite, so that if I move, all this gets lifted off, and then you've got your blank module with just the track on it. That way, nothing gets damaged, so on and so forth. It's a lot easier that way. And then you just place it right back, right where it was when you installed it. Same thing with this thing. Like I can lay that across the back seat of my car, no problem. Or put it in my trunk, no problem. This part here has to be separate, just for the fact that the trains are going to go through it, and I'm going to make this permanent here. There's lighting in there and everything, so I have to be a little bit more careful with that. But other than that, this entire section on the back here is going to be separate. So we got up to about here as far as track, which is great, because that's probably more work than what I've done in the last couple of days, probably. No, 16 feet for the steel mill. 16 feet? Yeah, I could see that. Main part of that is that you've got that raised section as well that your cars need to be pushed up onto to empty their iron ore, so that the elevator thing can take it up to the, I guess it's the smelter. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. As they say. That would be cool, because I've got ore cars, and I can't even really use them with this layout, which is fine. They're just, it's a show train anyways, so I just take that with me when I do, when I go to the train shows or whatever. Just because it's a really big train. I also have to start weathering those cars. There's 50 of them, so jeez. But we are getting there. We're we're halfway around this this layout, and I think that we're doing okay so far. The entire straight section on that side is done, and we're almost all the way on this side. I think I'm going to show you a bit more of the other side, just to show you what I've been working on as far as that, and then we'll call it a day. Where are we here? Oh, here we are. So with this, obviously you can see I've got track down, and here's a lot of my paper mill. Disregard that building that's sitting right there. That has to find a new home. And I also have backdrop up. I don't think I've mentioned that at all, and I haven't put out a video yet showing the work that I've been doing. But this is just temporary backdrop. Again, you know, no need to spend an arm and a leg if I've got a lot of these pieces hanging around. And I think this is where I'm going to put everything as far as the paper mill. So the 8 feet starts about here, goes all the way down there. And it's very similar to what I had in the back room. And you can see all the switches and whatnot that I did use for that. And they're all laid out in the exact same way here that it was originally, I think. If I do this, I'm just going to have to clean some of it up a little bit better and replace some pieces. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Because this is a much wider area. The other area was only like 1.75 feet, where this is like 2 feet. So yeah, and I keep developing these messes everywhere. Tons of messes. Got a bridge up here, and oh my gosh, so much going on. And for here, I still don't even really know what I'm doing here. All I know is that I gotta get a track up into there from about here, and then I have to cross this road, but I have to make sure that the middle piece is removable. Yeah, and I'm almost done my GVO cars. Here's the last of them here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 2026, and then I've got 2 that are just numbered for me. And then I am all done with that project, but I'm not going to bother you with that. I just got to clear coat them, and then they're good. It just hasn't, I'm so busy. But I do have to box them up and get them ready for the end of the month. But as you can see, we've got all the track down for here as well. I've got everything pinned, and the train obviously runs back and forth here, but the power hasn't been put to it yet. And I still have to, you can see that all the feeders, these are all the power for the tracks here. I haven't drilled those holes yet, so I'll eventually do that as well. But I gotta run the cork for the second main line here, and we're probably gonna do something like this. Gonna run the main line right along here, and then somehow incorporate this, and then this will go up there. But again, I gotta probably move the road so that it doesn't interfere with that, because I gotta put one of these gapping pieces. I don't have any over here to show you, but I gotta put a gap piece here, and then yeah. So there you go. Always a good time. Never a dull moment. Always working on something, basically. Thanks, Mike. I figure if I work hard enough at it, that it'll look half decent. Because yeah, I've been trying to get as much done as I can, obviously, because I do want to run trains again. But at the same time, I'm not in like a big rush to finish as well, if that makes sense. Because you know, I'm going to be moving anyways, so I can really take my time with it, and more or less, you know, as I work through it, I might do one module at a time. I was talking to you guys last week about, you know, what you guys want to see me work on and what would be interesting and all that. So I take a lot of that into consideration, of course, when I do my lives. A lot of you said that you wanted to see this area, so that's why I'm working on this area tonight specifically, even though it is just laying track, but it's a start. You got to do that before you do anything else, really, right? So we're getting there, but feels good about it. You know, I feel good. I want to do that. I think about 16 feet for steel mill. James, you know where you can put your steel mill? In that room that's opposite your train room. You've got more than enough room there. Just got to clear out some stuff. I offered to help you. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Ronald. Yeah, time. We never know how much we have, but we always ask for more. So, it is what it is. Anyways, you guys have yourselves a great night. Thank you so much for watching. We've got Mike and James coming up on Monday. I'll probably be back Saturday night, and I'll work on something. I don't know what that something is yet, so you'll be just as surprised as I am. Because that's Saturday. And then, yeah, Monday. I think we're over on Mike's channel on Monday. And then next week, I don't know. I don't know who's live. I know it's supposed to be Denny, but I think he said that he can't do Monday. So I haven't really sorted that out yet. I'm going to say I don't know, but, you know, watch for the pop-up. You'll see. Always have the bell selected. You get the notification when somebody goes live. That's not just for me. That's for all these guys that go live all the time. Mike, James, you know, me, Mark, Denny. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people, but yeah. So yeah, always hit the bell, and you'll be notified when these guys go live, or of course when they just upload a video as well. That way you're always in the know. Anyways, it's 10:30. It's well past my bedtime. I do have a train to catch. Hopefully it's the sleeper car, because it's about that time of night.